I was reminded this week of how well Victoria police portray themselves as victims while acting as bullies. The amount of shit that they get away with. They start trouble way more often than the protesters do. Then they instruct the established media on how to report the day's events through their own media releases. Hit pause on this video and read for yourself one example of an email that they send out to the media. And you can see the result of these police media communications. The media always framing it as violent protesters, innocent police, the protesters just attacked for no reason.
Good afternoon. Violent scenes have erupted in Melbourne today as anti-lockdown protesters clashed with police. Officers were trampled by a furious mob rushing through residential streets and were forced to deploy capsicum spray.
The footage shown is carefully cut together to tell the desired story. They're very selective in what they show and what they do not show.
Here, one officer knocked to the ground, multiple violent clashes. From behind the protest lines, flares were thrown at officers. A short time later, punches too. But the moment the fists began to fly, the cops hit back from all sides.
Most of the time, the cops are smart enough not to get caught on camera as they instigate violence and beat the crap out of people. But occasionally, they're so brazen and smug that they'll do it in plain sight. Even with video evidence, it's very rare for them to face actual consequences. This footage here shows one instance where the officer was charged. Note how his colleagues did nothing to stop him. They imitated his actions and pounced on the victim. Whereas the officer in this footage was deemed to have used reasonable force as he stomped on the back of someone's head while they were on the ground. I'd seen these kind of tactics settle down since the end of the last lockdown, but it seems to have started up again this past Saturday. This one cop in particular was looking for a fight all day long. At various times he openly offered to fight different protesters. In this grainy footage he was offering me a fight. I'd gladly have accepted, but we all know that if I was to fight back, then his mates would all jump in, and then they'd have the added advantage of pepper spray, batons, and can beat me up with the full backing of the law. The protest groups do mostly manage their own quite well. If someone gets out of hand, then a fellow protester is usually there to calm them down. Why is it not possible to have the police keep tabs on their own colleagues who might get heat up in the moment? This guy has zero self-control. He should not have a gun. And his colleagues should have the balls to tell him to pull his neck in. I've said it before, but would they act like this to a BLM or climate change protester? There's no denying that Vitriol are politically aligned and act in accordance with the instructions of their political owners.